right, Alicia Krause is in the studio. She got news. I got stuff to talk to you about as
really?
well.
Mm-hmm. Do you need my opinion on some things?
I just laugh. I don't know why. I have these flashbacks. I had a flashback when I was watching some CNN reporter talk about dogs and dog food and how bad it was for the environment and everything. And I was like, wasn't that the bitch I saw 4 years ago standing at Daytona Beach going, Ron DeSantis has reopened the beaches. These people aren't socially distancing.
We're all going to die.
Look at that couple lying next to each other in the sun on a towel. And it was like, and they had to cut back to Anderson Cooper looking real concerned, you know what I mean? Like, they dispatched someone to go to the safest place you could go.
Also,
for
remember
COVID.
when then Anderson Cooper was like down hanging out in like the gay party part of South Beach?
Of course.
Also during COVID.
Also,
AOC did the same thing.
I hate when someone is trying to illustrate a point and does a piss poor job of it. So CNN
I know.
was complaining about Ron DeSantis opening Daytona Beach or the beach, and their B-roll were guys walking alone down the beach. And I'm like, that's the best thing you can do during COVID is walk alone on a beach.
We also know all the doctors that I talked to during that time, they were like vitamin D was what was saving lives.
And
like, it was
exercise,
so
like you would get if you went to the beach.
Yes.
All right, so I was like, that dumb bitch. So now she's complaining about dog food, but before she was scaring everyone about COVID. And then when I saw this latest Kristen Welker thing, now I have a thought for you. And you're a newswoman.
I am.
Fair and balanced.
I don't know if I'm fair or balanced.
But here's something. And I have a theory. And are you ready? It dovetails into my women are fighting more and stuff like that. Like, you step on a woman's foot, she punches you. You know, it's like they're having a little trouble maintaining. Do you see what I'm saying?
Like
and
self-regulating, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my theory. And I think it's sort of biological and a little hormonal. And you've seen it, like with Leslie Stahl and stuff. It's like, well, part of your brain as a woman goes, I'm Leslie Stahl. I work for 60 Minutes. I have to conduct an interview, and it's got to look down the middle because I can't look like a partisan cheerleader hack that I am. But now Donald Trump is saying something, and I'm not an interviewer at this point. I'm a woman, and I fuck you, and I'm going to argue, sir. And it's like all of a sudden not professional.
See, I think that you're being too gracious to her. I don't think that she has that journalist, I'm going to be fair and balanced part of her brain.
I think most journalists, at least if you work for Sigma, you have to have some veneer of, I can't walk out there and go, I hate this guy and I'm voting a different direction.
But they did it to like Katie Couric did it to Sarah Palin. Like Chris Matthews did it to George W. and Cheney. Like, I think it's just all the media.
No,
maybe it's hormonally off.
No, I agree. But the women, I will say statistically, are easy. You can animate them faster, and they can get off of their sort of professional game. Like Leslie Stahl became an 11-year-old girl. So it's, sir, no, you can't, sir. And like it wasn't. There's a professional. Sir, Anderson Cooper will keep it together. He'll argue.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, that guy's smooth or something. They don't get like. You're not.
They get a little amped up. Instead of you dodging their question or you giving them an answer they don't like personally offends them.
Women will get more. You'll get them emotional faster, and
1,000%.
you'll see more of who they really are.
You are making my case
faster.
of like men and women are different. 1,010.
Yeah. So Kristen Welker is interviewing Lindsey Graham, and you know, she's going to ask tough questions, and she comes from a perspective, but she's on NBC. So this is Meet the Press. It's not Democrats go after Republicans on Sunday. It's Meet the Press. All right. So, but you'll see her jump in. She'll start to become a woman and less a anchor.
A woman.
No, it's not bad. I mean,
she is a woman anchor.
She'll become a woman anchor. There she is.
Senator, as you know, former President Obama has weighed in through a spokesperson. He says that's just patently false. I actually spoke to Susan Miller, who's a former senior CIA officer who helped oversee the 2017 intelligence assessment on Russian interference. She says it's completely false that Obama or anyone else asked them to change or sway their investigation. She says she says, and she's a Republican, says they all would have quit if that had happened. Senator, are you trying to rewrite history to distract from the Epstein matter, Senator?
No, I'm trying to let you know and the media know that we found something we didn't know before. At the end of the day, I'm not calling for a prosecution against President Obama for treason, but I am calling for an investigation. Mr. Miller also said there was no credible evidence that President Trump colluded with the Russians. For years and months and days and weeks, people had their lives turned upside down chasing the Mueller narrative that Trump was in bed with the Russians, that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians. The only people colluding with the Russians were the Hillary Clinton campaign and Christopher Steele manufacturing a document to get warrants against Carter Page based on lies and falsehoods. So, yeah, I'm very familiar with it. What you don't seem to acknowledge is there's something new being found. Rather than reinventing the wheel here, let's go back to a special counsel model to look at this something new. Something new is statements by President Obama. I don't like your analysis. Russia wasn't involved here in 2016.
Senator, you're saying there's something new. This report goes back to 2020. It's 5 years old. There's actually nothing new in this report and nothing that changes any conclusion. But I want to talk about Gaza.
Turned over is new to me.
Senator,
it's new to me.
But Senator,
you're trying to sweep this stuff under the rug, and that's not right.
All right. A reporter would go, well, what's new? Tell me what you found.
Be like, well, I talked to President Obama, and this is fine.
I know. It's just stop being a cheerleader.
It's because they all have crushes on Obama still.
I do. But then I realized, Kristen Welker, that's the dunce who presided over the 2020 debate with Trump and Biden.
When Biden was half dead?
He was half dead at that point.
He wasn't on the Ambien.
I wasn't pumped full of Ambien. Now, this one I love because, he's talking about Russiagate in this, and she is like, can we get back to race? Can we stop talking? Can we talk about race? It's like, do we really need the president to denounce the Klan? How much race talk? Can we talk a little more? Okay, it's funny because she keeps wanting to talk about race.
Pivot.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
Hey, President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue. President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race.
He's talking about Russia and laptops, and she's race.
No.
Race. We have to keep talking about race. You have to distract everyone and anger everyone by talking about race.
I would love to be a debate moderator. We should do it together, maybe. Because sometimes being a news nerd that pays attention to polling and what voter perception is on things, I get so fascinated and also really annoyed. And this is why I think you're giving her and other mainstream media outlets way too much credit when you're like, they're putting on their journalism cap and then they put on their women cap. No, they think that their journalism is leftism and leftism is journalism.
Yeah,
and they ask dumb questions nobody in 2020 cared about BLM. They cared about the economy and schools being closed and a lot of other things. I agree.
No, I would say nobody ever says, I'm voting Democrat. They would never say that.
True.
And the reason they would never say that is because they don't want you to know. They would. They don't want you to know, but they don't realize you do know.
They think that they can hoodwink us all.
Well, you bring it up. Well, why don't they just go out and voting for Biden?
I mean, I think, because they like to have the allure of being unbiased.
That's what I'm saying.
Even though that's what they do.
You're saying... First off, you're agreeing with me and then disagreeing simultaneously.
I think that you're giving her more credit by saying, she put on her journalist hat, then she put on her woman hat. I think that she thinks she is, you're they think they're unbiased. I don't say they
think they're unbiased.
I could have sworn you started the segment with that.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me. They don't want you to know what they're thinking. That's why they never say how they vote. And that's why they get indignant when at some point some politician will say to
Calls
like
them
Leslie
out.
Stahl, go, I know how you vote. Sir, you do not know how I vote. I assure you that. It's like, yeah, bitch, we know exactly how I vote. They don't want you to know.
Then they got to work on doing a better
But
job of
it's
hiding
easy
it.
to draw them out, and it's easier to draw out women because they get more emotional more quickly.
And I'm saying I don't even think that you have to draw them out. Like, you can tell by the stylistic observations of like the questions that they ask.
Oh
and how
yeah,
they're
I
asked.
know what it is.
Like, I'm not-
Anyway, okay. But I think we're kind of saying the same things. Women. All right. Anyway,
But
let's
men and
do-
women different. Men and women different. Perception.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm saying they pulls them out. They get off their game faster.
Yes, I think they get more emotional faster.
Yes.
Like the emotional
Yes.
reaction
Yes.
faster.
This
Although
is
Chris
what you're
Matthews
saying, what
might
I'm
have a
saying.
lot of estrogen.
Well,
because that guy would
there's
get
a
very
couple.
upset.
There's a couple of those guys.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
And but by and large, they try to maintain some sort of patina of bipartisanship. Mm-hmm. And then they get angry.
What would Dr. Drew, like, what is the medical name? Because I would say that they're lying to themselves. They've lied to themselves so much that they might believe it, even though the rest of the world can see the truth. What is the medical name for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come up with the diagnosis in a minute. They know. It's sort of like, let's just say you're gay, but you didn't want the world to find out, you know, and then someone made a gay joke about you and you went nuts. Like, it's like, why are you protesting so much? You know,
Yeah.
sure, you don't know how I vote. You know, like they get really
The projection.
Yes, they do a lot of, and then it's like you were talking, and then there's like some straight trucker, and he's like, God, man, I hate these homos. And they're like, well, now hold on a second. And next thing you know, you're arguing with the guy, but pretending to be straight. They just show their hand. It's easy. I think they sort of believe themselves. They're
That's
in,
what-
they're
like
in a
they've
kind
lied
of
to
a, they're in a
themselves.
kind of a nether world, but they don't see what we see. Like when Leslie Stahl starts arguing with Trump, she's not outside witnessing herself. She's just reacting. She's
Yeah,
being,
it's like if
drawn
she had
out.
read the papers, and they might be dated 2020, but the Senate Services Committee and all these places didn't see the papers until recently. Like, that's why Lindsey Graham's talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just a dumb question,
well,
or like a dumb follow-up on her part.
You're there to interview Lindsey Graham about what he knows about this particular issue, not filibust and argue.
And you and I both
with
know
them.
how headlines work. Like, he could know something that was in all of that stuff that the American viewer doesn't know, and she could have had a trending interview if he released a piece of information that wasn't publicly talked about yet.
Yeah, now the thing that's going on now where a lot of people are like, well, how come CNN or the Los Angeles Times, the New York Times, or NBC, CBS, how come no one's reporting this story? And they're doing the same thing they did with COVID. They'd be reporting on themselves. They're the ones who did the story. They're the ones who misled the country, just like they misled with COVID. So people say, how come these people aren't apologizing for COVID? That's outing themselves as shitty news organizations.
I think it's far more sinister than that.
You do.
I do.
It's like they're blatantly trying to.
I don't know.
cover
Do you
up.
remember that? Do you remember seeing that thing that was total propaganda with all of the news sources, every single local news channel all across
Yeah.
the nation reading from the exact same script?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I you can also sort of attribute it to when these guys, the Democrats put out a buzzword, you know what I mean, and then everybody
Uses it.
grabs the buzzword. Yeah, and I sort of get where you're at.
Existential crisis was last year.
They would be. If CNN said, you know, it looks like there's some meat on the bone here to this whole Obama Russiagate thing and the Steele dossier, they'd be basically saying we're the worst news organization ever because for 4 years that's all we did was talk to Adam Schiff about this.
Yeah.
Well, it comes down to stupid or liar.
Yeah.
'Cause they're
It's
not
stupid or
stupid.
liar.
Both? Can you be both?
And yes,
They're
yes,
kind of
they
both.
were. Yes,
Yeah.
they were lying, but I think that their cover up of and not covering it now goes a lot further than we got egg on our face.
Well,
We'll
why?
look like
But
idiots.
why? Well, why? No, what they look like is a place you shouldn't turn to get journalism from because you go, they got everything wrong. And
there's no accountability. Like
there's
won't
nothing in it for
Yeah.
them to cover it. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. All right, what do you got in the news department?
Well, we got like a trending story of the day. Everyone is talking about Pedro Pascal's hot girl anxiety. Or how was I supposed to say this? Pedro Pasquale? Somebody told me, and I was like, I don't think it's Pasquale. So he is on the Fantastic Four. Marvel is releasing Fantastic Four. He plays, isn't it Dr. Reed Richards?
I don't like the idea that all these comic book things have somehow swept the country. Like, it's weird to me when I talk to adult dudes who are really into comic books and
Comic-Con
stuff.
just happened. Or is it still happening right now, too, down in San Diego?
Yeah.
You're not like a Comic-Con attendee? No.
I don't believe adult males are supposed to be fucking around with this shit. I really don't. I just don't. You're supposed to build shit and fix shit. You're not supposed to do this.
Okay, so don't go see the movie. Adam is a non-endorsement for the
I
movie.
don't mind that there's a Superman movie and there's a Fantastic Four movie, and it's fine. It shouldn't be number 1 and number 2 every single weekend, and guys shouldn't be talking about. The best guy is when the guy's devastated by how crappy the Marvel offering was. Like, dude, you're 47. Get your shit together. You shouldn't be emotionally
Take
crippled.
your kids to see the movie.
Yeah, take your kids.
Take your kids to
All
see
right,
the movie.
So Pascal,
So
who I
Pascal-
don't like because he's the one who's always arguing with what's her name about trans rights or whatever.
Oh gosh,
he's a douche.
He
Yeah.
looks good for being 50 though. He's 50, and apparently in a 2023 interview, he told his Last of Us co-star Bella Ramsey that he places a hand on his chest or reaches out to someone close to him to help manage his anxiety during high stress moments. So now the internet is all abuzz, specifically social media, because they're like, "Whoa, he's super touchy-feely with his co-stars on the red carpet, and sometimes his co-stars' spouses." So we have this montage, and we have like psychiatrists and doctors that are saying like, yeah, this is a thing. Like, this is sometimes how people self-touch and these things is like how people deal with anxiety.
Self-touch. I like that euphemism, baby. I'm going to go with that. Let me see if I can put that in a sentence. My stepmom caught me self-touching in the guest bathroom.
And
Okay,
did you
I
tell
like
her
that.
it was
That's
because of
gonna-
anxiety in a high stress situation?
Yeah.
So we have this montage of him and now who is this? Vanessa Kirby. This is insane to me. She's married.
gorgeous.
He's
That's
not.
I think that's my favorite image so far.
Just our hands.
Yeah.
She's rubbing
As long
on
as
his
you
That was our
don't
very
have to
first
see-
day
As
as
long as
well.
you don't have to see my face. Terrible confession to make in front of Gordon.
It's because some of the best men in the world, so they don't count.
So she's grabbing all up on him.
So people are saying like, "Oh, this is creepy." Like hands on the. Only my husband puts his hands on my waist like that. Mm-hmm. Like that is, and then so she is married, and so then people are like, "Hey, this is creepy because he is a bigger star than she is." Although she's like pretty dang famous and obviously very hot, but
Is she pregnant?
in the movie she plays that she's pregnant.
I've seen pictures or clips or something where it looks like a baby bump.
Oh no!
Well,
Don't get me
that's
started
what
on
it
this,
looks
Adam.
like. I don't know what
Adam.
I don't know what that is, or
Adam,
maybe
no.
maybe it's just am I
No.
Is it making that up? I mean, doesn't it?
I don't think she's pregnant, but also if I stood up and did a twirl, YouTube commenters could say that I look pregnant. Like
I think she kind of looked pregnant from an angle.
Kind of
there.
looks pregnant from an angle. I don't know
I just
what's
don't
going
like
on.
it when like
the
Jennifer
all-blue satin
Aniston.
bodysuit isn't helping.
She
it. Yeah,
is
she's
pregnant.
Okay,
She
would you
looks
stop
fucking
being wrong
amazing.
for 5 minutes and we can move on with the goddamn show?
It's so hard to tell there. She looks so tiny.
I told you she looked pregnant. I don't know what else I can say. I'm going to go back and fix just.
So he's okay right there. Freeze frame. She looks pregnant. You were right. I was wrong.
Thank you. All right.
If only Leslie
Continue.
Stahl could do
I
that.
know. Sir, she's not pregnant. Sir, we're 60 minutes. Sir, we can't.
But see, you're right. I got a little emotional because I get so pissed off at the like social media commentators that like critique women's bodies all the time while they're like
That's what you did.
fat
You
and
were
like eating Cheetos
you
in their
were
mom's
triggered.
basement.
You got triggered.
I got triggered. So psychologists speaking to the Daily Mail said that physical touch of oneself or another person is one of the most powerful and natural ways to cope with anxiety disorders, which they say affect nearly 1 in 5 U.S. adults. But
God,
social
he's such
media
a
is abrupt, saying that this is just creepy. So look what he does to William Dafoe's wife right here.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Over the shoulder now.
Here we go.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh man,
What was that? What was that?
Hey, she rubbing her chin.
But that seems very personal. Like that seems.
I want to say this. Whether it's Biden sniffing chicks' hair, don't do it in front of cameras. Do it on your own. You know, we all have our own predilections, you know, physically, and we don't do it in front of the core of guys with cameras. You know what I mean? Because they catch stuff.
Well, and I get that like anxiety can be something like they talk about breathing is important. And so
no.
he's saying that he gets anxiety.
I'll tell you what he's doing.
He's using it as an excuse.
And yeah. Well, first off, he's a puss. That's number one, because he argues. He's the one who's always arguing with the, what's her name, about the trans, whatever. You guys don't know that story? Andrew, you must know the story. He argued with
J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He argues with J.K. Rowling's about the trans stuff. So he's a puss. That's number one. Only pussy guys talk about anxiety. Regular guys don't have anxiety. They don't know what it is. Pussies talk about anxiety. So he's a puss, and he argues with J.K. Rowling, and it's very important to him that everyone be trans. But also, he's from, like, Spain or something. Where's he from?
Oh, so you think it's kind of like a
Guys
cultural thing?
get to touch. Let me tell you the two touchiers, the touchies. The Spanish, you know, the Spain, you know, sort of Euro, whatever, and then gay guys. Gay guys get to go up and touch whoever they want because, oh, come on, don't flatter yourself. They can do whatever. It's like part of the culture.
Yeah.
So you get a little, he's from Chile.
Point proven.
He gets a little international excuse.
What if he's both?
Gay and from Chile? If you're
And
gay
has
and from
anxiety.
Chile,
It's like the trifecta.
you can do what Donald Trump bragged to Billy Bush about, and no court in the land will convict you.
You know, that's so true. I had a roommate in New York when I was young and way cuter, and she loved like salsa dancing, and she would beg me to go to salsa clubs with her. And after like the fourth time, I said, I can't do it anymore, because you will tell a gentleman at a salsa club, like, oh, I'm done dancing, or like move their hand because of where they place things. And it's just, it is so cultural. Yeah. Like that. They just are so used to, this is how we dance, this is what we do.
Yeah,
like,
they go, we greet each other, we kiss each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in certain cultures, and you go, oh, okay, well, that's what we do. You know, and you go, oh, okay, well, I don't want to look like a bumpkin, so go ahead and kiss up.
So do you think this is predatory and creepy behavior like half of the internet thinks, or you think that it is more cultural / gay for him?
Cultural / possible gay. He's also puss. And I hearken back to a story I told Andrew about. I don't know if he found it or not, but there was a story, speaking of his anxiety, there was a story on TMZ probably 2 years ago, maybe a little more. Did you ever find that, by the way, Andrew? Where, we did. Oh, well, I'll show it to you. But if you have anxiety.
Yes.
And I'm not a physician, but I think Dr. Drew would probably warn you against this practice if you had anxiety.
Okay.
All right. So we'll play it for you in a second because we're looking for it. But I didn't know who Pedro Pascal was. Yeah. I didn't really know. It was like 2 years ago. And
he's really blown up.
I know.
He's like become this superstar.
I don't watch all the shows and stuff. I just didn't know. I mean, I looked at him and went, oh, yeah, that guy's on a TV show, but I didn't care. But it stuck in my head that.
Well, he also like started the Zaddy trend. At least that's when I saw it.
Oh, what's Zaddy?
Daddy's like an older, hot dad.
Well, I'm
like,
all for that.
You know,
because I'm
that's when I saw him kind of just blowing up on social.
All right, this is how he orders at Starbucks.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, Pedro. How many shots of coffee do you got in that cup? 12? Nice, man. Have a great day, brother.
Nice day, man.
They broke it down. They looked at the label that was on the cup. This wasn't the one I was talking about. There was one where they zoomed in.
And it was like a ton of shots?
Yeah, it was like 12 shots of espresso in his coffee. I mean, you know, it's enough caffeine to kill a hippo in his cup. And there was another one you got to find, Andrew, where they actually zoomed in on the receipt label, where they stick to the cup that says, "Here's how you like it." And I don't remember it being 12. That sounds like too much, but we'll see. We'll see if they.
Do you think that the Starbucks barista gets his name wrong?
Well, he goes with Jim. Sorry.
For everyone asking about Pedro's Starbucks order, Ice Quad Espresso in a venti cup, extra ice, 6 shots.
6 shots. All right, 6 shots.
That is so much.
I'm saying if you went to a voodoo doctor in the rainforest and said, "I have anxiety," that person would say, "Do not drink 6 shots of Starbucks in your cup."
It's like ADD and anxiety. You should probably just stay away from sugar and caffeine in general.
On top of that, have you discussed this with Dr. Drew? I think he would be the first thing to say that guy is an addict. He's addicted to something.
Oh, touching his co-stars in a very sensual way.
I will say this, and I know nothing, but you can look it up. I would say former addict because the guys you see with the foot tapping all the time who are like chain smoking, and they're like, "Dude, when I get back from the tattoo parlor, we're going free base jumping, man. We're skydiving. We're going base jumping." You go
the extremes.
Yeah, that's an act. That guy. Oh, and then you go, "What were you doing a year ago?" So, living in the streets, slamming heroin. You know what I mean? And they give it up and they go right into coffee and cigarettes and foot tapping and stimulants. Like, I know these guys.
So, but psychiatrists and psychologists are saying that this, the touching thing can be helping reduce his anxiety and releasing oxytocin and limiting cortisol levels.
I don't doubt if you let me go on the red carpet with my dog, I would have a better time of it at petting my fucking dog. But
the prescription is touching Willem Dafoe's wife's face.
That's right.
Do you want to do one of the patterns that they say that you should do if you're having anxious moments? Do you want to do a practice? So you're supposed to take a hand and put it over your heart and deep breaths.
Oh, I'll say a shot of rum and a shot of brandy, and then somebody slapping you and yelling, "Get hold of yourself," that's what the doctor ordered in the past, and it fucking worked.
It did.
Shot of brandy, then somebody slaps you and yells, "Get hold of yourself."
You're not going to do a butterfly hug? That's the other one. You're
shot of
put your
booze
hands here and butterfly hug.
I have a problem. My problem is I have thoughts, and these thoughts are not sympathetic toward most people, but what they don't realize is I don't like us talking about our racist society over and over because I feel like you're fucking up people, and you shouldn't be talking that way. The message should be, show up, make hay while the sun shines. No better country to do it than this country. Stop turning people into victims. You're ruining these people.
Yeah.
When people say, "I have anxiety, I go, "Shut up, you're fine, get busy." And then everyone looks at me and goes, "What the guy living with has anxiety?" And I'm like, if you go rub his forehead and try to soothe him and go, "Oh my God, you have anxiety," you make it worse. Everyone's got something, and we've all made it worse.
Saying live life, move on.
Live life, move on. I'm allergic to. Shut up and eat it. Shut up, eat it.
And then if you have anaphylactic shock, Adam has an EpiPen.
No one will miss you. What? We're gonna miss your whiny ass.
Speaking of whining, so there's been a cadre of comedians and late night hosts that have been whining about the Colbert cancellation. For the record, this Jay Leno interview with my buddy Dave Trulio over at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation Institute, I think was taped right before the announcement. But I wrote about this in this week's op-ed, make comedy funny again. Remember when Leno and Letterman would rip on Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton? And those days seem so long gone.
Yeah.
And so Leno makes a really good point here that I'm sure that I would like your feedback on.
Okay.
And to me, I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens is people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other.
Comedy can be used to unite or divide people. Do you have any advice on how we can use it for common ground?
Well, it's a great uniter. Funny is funny. People either, it's funny when someone who's not, who you make fun of their side and they laugh at it, I just find getting out, I don't think anybody wants to hear a lecture. To me, it's just, when I was with Rodney, it was always the economy of words. Get to the joke as quickly as possible.
Well, and it's worth noting that both you and Rodney Dangerfield experienced and have been experiencing enormous success, right? So your approach worked in the marketplace.
Well, why shoot for just half an audience all the time? Why not try to get the whole? I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group, or just don't do it at all. I'm not saying you have to throw your support or whatever, but just do what's funny.
Yeah. Well, that, by the way, was done in his shop.
Isn't that cool, though?
Just for that. Yeah, I like the guy. I've been there a few times. Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of a two schools of thought. You go, why are you alienating half the country? And then the other is, well, if you just go real hard in one direction, then you'll have to deal with, 165 million fans in this country, and a lot of people go, well, that's enough to fill a 400-seat comedy venue. So, I don't really, here's my whole thing. I don't care what direction you personally want to go. I just want you to declare that's who you are. And we're circling back to Leslie Stahl and Kristen Welker and stuff like that. Stop pretending just to be a independent journalist or something. Just say who you are and then go find an audience. And that's fine. I mean, that's what Sean Hannity does. He goes, this is what I do. I talk about this and I believe it. And it's not, I'm doing commentary, a lot of commentary. And that's fine if you want to be a comedian, do it that way. The problem with late night is you're not there to do a political show. You're there to do a sort of variety show, and it can be whatever format you want, but then format that you inherited wasn't that. And that's not what Letterman gave to you.
And it's also like, I think Colbert came from that Jon Stewart Comedy Central to being the funny correspondent, like liberal correspondent that was like trying to essentially bore at politicians on the right. Right. And I think that when he brought that in to network TV, to the legacy, the 3-decade legacy of that show, like you said, it just didn't work. Because I would actually, my only counter argument would be, I don't know that it's 165 versus 165. I think that maybe it's like 50 million on the right, 50 million on the left, and then there's a whole bunch of people in the middle that just want to live life and laugh.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're right.
And so it's like, just help us live a life a little lighter, a little funnier, and make us laugh.
Yeah, I agree. But, also these people get into this environment where they're no one said no to them in a long time. And once you get in that environment for a while, you really start just doing your own thing. And Leno is much different, and I was surprised when I would do his show. I was honestly surprised how people spoke to him. I'd be up there doing a dry run, a rehearsal run on some bit we were doing together or something like that. Maybe this was for his 10 o'clock show, but also for when he had the 11:30 show. And he'd have his head writer guy just sort of sitting in the pews there. And people sitting around, headsets and stuff, and his guy would be like, Jay, don't do it that way. It's not funny. Do it the way we talked about doing it the other way. And Jay'd be like, you want me to go back and do it? Yeah. And he'd go, yeah, Jay, do it the way we talked about. It's funnier. It's not funny this way. And I'm kind of sitting there going, wow, because you didn't do that to Letterman.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that to a lot. You wouldn't do that to a lot of these guys.
The fact that he could handle the constructive criticism.
Yeah, like somebody could say to him, not that they need to, but go hey man, you've been talking about politics the last 4 shows, and the last 3 monologues were I timed it. It was 8 minutes of politics and only 3 minutes of a world events, kind of going hard against the Republicans. It just doesn't feel that balance. Yeah. Somebody probably should have said to Colbert, like his head writer or whatever, like, look, man, the monologue is becoming like a political rally, man. I mean, 4.5 years ago or 6 years ago, went, let's tack back toward kind of the center and talking about events and world events and local events, but let's look a little less with the politics.
I think
like someone should have said something, and then a lot of them thought it, I'm sure. But they were scared to say anything.
They're scared to admit when something is unfunny. I also think that when you have that level of like fame and power and multi-million-dollar contracts, you then just bring in all of your yes men.
Yeah, or they get converted to yes men like really quick.
I mean, it pays the bills.
Yeah,
I think that happens a lot in politics as well.
It's basically like saying this. Okay. Ellen was a total bitch to everybody, and everyone was scared of her. And I used to tell everybody this way before any of the Ellen is a bitch. Also, 20 years ago, I said she's everyone's scared shitless of her because she must be a witch at work, and everyone just was scared.
Really?
But they didn't say anything. No, the story came out 3 years ago or whatever.
But you're saying you were saying it long before.
If you see a staff or employees or children who are scared shitless of like their dad, that's a bad dad. Respect is one thing, but scared. Everyone is scared. Ellen was, she's a vegetarian. How many folks would come in and bring a roast beef sandwich in for lunch and like sit down and eat it in the writer's room if Ellen was at the table? And the answer is they wouldn't.
She would like berate them for their personal food choices?
They would get the message that Ellen was not into this, and I don't even think they would do it. And so then you would go, so she only hired vegans? And you'd go, no, but they didn't eat the fucking ribs in front of her. Okay, because they were scared.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what ends up happening. Like, you don't know how many of these people actually agree. But they're not bringing it up.
But I think that's why stand-up, like real good stand-up and specials are killing it right now, because the audience, like a lot of times you have comedians across the board, like whether it's you or Andrew Schultz or Theo Von or Shane Gillis and others that are like, they're writing their own stuff and they're sticking to kind of like their shtick and who they are. And there's a beauty and an interesting like kind of storytelling with that as well. They're not surrounded by all those writers that are afraid of them in a writer's room. And maybe when they are, that's when their comedy starts to go downhill.
I agree. We have something that we saved from last week, which is the late, great Chuck Mangione played the flugelhorn, not the trumpet. And my dad played the flugelhorn.
I don't even know what the flugelhorn is.
Oh, you know when you hear it.
It looks like a trumpet gave birth to twins and got stretched out a little bit.
So it has 6 buttons instead of 3, right?
No, it's got 3. It's just stretched out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we lost Chuck Mangione last week, and it just reminded me of that wonderful time, that magical time in the studio when Chuck was, doing a session and Jim Carolla
had basically an $1,800 trumpet, and he told me it wasn't enough trumpet for him. He needed a better trumpet, which is
to do that.
A little insight into my dad and sort of where he thinks he is versus where he actually is. But he returned my $1,800 trumpet and told me to get a $3,000 trumpet.
Stop.
Maybe $3,200.
I mean, it blew clean notes.
I would argue that I could just hit up any Salvation Army storage shed and steal a trumpet. And that would be too much trumpet for my dad's trumpet playing ability. But in his world, he needed a $3,000. His trumpet needed to cost more than my first 7 cars.
And play the opposite of reverie.
Right.
I now after hearing that, I'm like, oh, I know what that is, but did not know what that was before.
The flugel.
The flugel.
It sounds like a little richer trumpet.
It's, I would say, more almost like high pitched.
More depth and
No,
Really?
the
You think
opposite
it's
of
really? Maybe I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, that sounds like it's a smoother, deeper.
Well, depending on who's playing it.
Well, no, that Chuck's playing. I'm sorry. To be fair,
Okay.
Chuck Mangione's playing the flugel.
Oh, okay.
My dad was playing the trumpet.
Got it.
And that's why that sounds like that. But the flugel is like deeper and a little richer.
Okay.
That was one of Chuck's fondest memories, was sitting in the studio with your dad.
He was.
I really loved what he brought to the table that day.
His whole heart.
Yeah, that was me just recording my dad in his den or something.
Did he think he was that good?
I now look back on it. And I was trying to kind of break it down because my dad passed. I don't know. It's been 9-10 months now. Yeah, he'll be missed, but not by the community who leave their windows open at night. Yeah. So I started to like try to do a psychodynamic dive on my dad and his trumpet, you know, and it's like. I think everyone is stretching for or longing for some sense of being able to do something or having, everyone's like, people go, you go into a restaurant and you're with a couple and the guys, they're ordering, and it's a fancy French restaurant and you're like, God, I can't understand what this guy, and then the woman across you, she goes, I speak French. And you kind of go, oh, that's cool. I wish I was the one who announced I spoke French.
Yeah.
Or you go into a dinner party and it's nice, and at some point there's a big Steinway in the corner and somebody goes, come on, Alicia, sit down. Come on, do place a couple. And you go, well, I don't know. I really
Actually, you know what my dream is? There's a medical emergency on a plane and I can do something about it.
Yes. Okay. So we all sort of have that. Longing.
Yes.
The longing for it. And it's like, I was a carpenter. So like sometimes I'll be at someone's house or something, go, this door's sticky or whatever. And I'll go, yeah, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then they
show
go,
your stuff.
Yeah. And then they'll say it.
Yeah.
They'll go, the wife will go, I wish Bert could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why it's okay to shame your husband. You can't shame your wife. But anyway, no one goes there and goes, this food is so good. I wish Connie knew how to cook.
Only in front of the very closest friends.
Right. Well, if she's in the room, you're fucked. But here's the point is this. Everybody has a longing to do stuff.
Yes.
And to have people go, oh, that's wonderful. Wow, I didn't know. Speak 3 languages, whatever. And it could be master the nunchucks or something, or black belt or something, And I realize that most people do have those things that they have an ability in. And then as I was talking to Dave Rubin about it earlier, you feel a certain sense of security. Like, okay, I could handle myself. I used to box, or I could fix stuff. I feel it feels good, I work on a car a little bit and that kind of stuff. My dad didn't have anything. And,
wow.
And the trumpet was all the eggs in the one trumpet basket. You know what I mean? And I realized, it'd be like, I could ride a unicycle, but it'd be like me just showing up at every party with my unicycle or me weaving it into every conversation. Literally.
I think it took me coming here like a dozen times before you mentioned the unicycle.
That's
actually kind of impressive.
It's a novelty, but it's pretty low down on the stuff that I get paid for, that I'm good at,
but
or whatever.
But you do mention carpentry a lot.
I do mention it because I love it. And I think it's a road to sanity.
Yes.
But I'm also doing it all the time, and I realize I'm always remodeling something. I think carpentry is a metaphor for sort of sanity. I think people need to go out and get their hands dirty. Skill.
Like a tactile skill.
Tactile skill.
Yep.
We're all digital and everyone's going insane. But now, as I realized, it was bizarre that my dad's world was a trumpet, except for he wasn't very good at playing a trumpet, and he never made a nickel playing a trumpet. And so he'd show up and, be Thanksgiving, and here he'd come walking in, turkey smells good. And at some point he put the trumpet case down, and it was like, oh, we're captive. We're captive audience. Like, we have to. I remember.
Was everyone nice to him about it, or were you kind of brutal?
Yeah, well, the problem was people the people are always overly supportive about it. Like, oh, that's one. No, don't do one more.
But he clearly didn't have imposter syndrome, because I feel like when people come, when my mom always texts me when I'm on TV that I did great. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're my mom. You have to say that. Good sandwich mom has to say that. But like, if a person I haven't seen in 5 years texts me is like, saw you on TV, you did great, like, it means something else. But then there's still an imposter syndrome part of me that's like, are they just saying that to be like nice, or because they want something from me?
Well, he
clearly had an element of like, not
as
that
good as Mangione, and I'm talking about the guy who assassinated the insurance broker. That guy. I don't even know if he can play the trumpet. I'm just going to guess. It was his identity.
Yeah.
And so, like, one time he called me a million years ago, and it was funny because he'd never seen me do a show, or never been anything I've ever done. And he just kind of called me and he went, hey, you doing a show at the El Portal Theater? And I was like, yeah. Why? He's like, oh, I thought I'd come check it out, And I go, you've never asked me to come to a show. We taped the Man Show over the hill here. Taped Loveline, 700 episodes, everything. I just never showed up at once. He lived in North Hollywood. And so I go, what do you want to... You want to come watch the show? You want to watch me perform? And he goes, well, I thought I'd play the trumpet, at the beginning, play a little trumpet up there. I was like, oh, okay.
He wanted to be your opener.
He wanted to open with his horn. I realized it became his whole, but I realized in a deficit of other skills. And I realized it was him kind of saying, I may not be successful, and I may not be tall, and I may not have all these awards or trophies or plaques on the wall, but I can do this thing better than anybody at this party, provided nobody plays the trumpet at all. And that was his thing. And I realized, I think he was trying to like carve an identity for himself. So I guess it's better than just being a massive Dodgers fan.
Or a Marvel fan.
Or a Marvel fan. All right, everyone. A good note to go out on. Alicia Krause, her op-ed is at the Washington Examiner. And the latest is on...
Comedy.
Dave Rubin's got his Copal. I think
the tequila company.
That's good. I'm going to be in Portland at Helium August 7th. I guess we got a couple shows there. And then Redondo Beach at formerly The End. It's now called Mom Said Yes. And El Paso. And you come out, go to adamcarolla.com for all live stuff. Until next time, it's Adam for Dave. And Alicia saying, mahalo.
Ace Man. Watching ABC the other night. Preview for the show The Rookie. One of the characters says, I'll do my best, Sarge. Sarge says, don't do your best, do my best. Frank in Houston, get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, you can say, now as I think about it, it's perfectly fine to say, I'll do my best. I have a lot of people say to me, I did my best. And when you did your best and it's still a shit show, that means you're shit. Which is a weird thing that people don't realize, that when they screw the pooch and then announce they did their best, well, then what are we really saying? You're not capable of doing this job, and it's an easy job, so something is wrong with you.
Right.
I don't know. Half the time people give me excuses, it actually gets worse for them. You want to know what? You want to know what'll work for me all the time? Hey, what happened out there? I told you I was drunk. Oh, okay. All right. That's good. All right. Okay. Well, sober up and finish the job.
No answer to that, yeah.
Have a cup of coffee and then see if we can go finish it. But don't tell me you did your best, because you did your best and it still sucked. But I was drunk. Oh, will work. Go ahead.
All right. So we got some fun news today. Trump is facing criticism for for referring to a female Bloomberg reporter as Piggy. And this is just a wonderful article. It's packed with chick think. But let's just start with this wonderful clip from X.
Sir, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir,
Quiet, Piggy. Quiet, Piggy. It's very funny because, well, first of all, I'm reminded of Alec Baldwin and the quiet, and he called his daughter Piggy.
Everybody went nuts on Baldwin with that, and there's certain. Here's what I'm trying to figure out, Dawson. There's certain things that people are actually upset about, and then there's other things that they have to act upset about, but aren't a big deal. Anything to do with a dolphin, you have to act. You have to act super upset about, and no one. But the whole Piggy thing was she. Who was Baldwin's daughter, was probably going through a really shitty 14-year-old Hollywood chick phase and being super fucking shitty with daddy.
Sure.
And I've been there. I know how it goes. Teenage girls, especially out here, especially if mama's whispering sweet nothings into their ears, can get really shitty with daddy. And she'd been really shitty to Baldwin for a while and then broke a date or screwed something up or did something. And then he just called her little piggy.
Right.
And that's his fucking daughter. And I was like, get the fuck over it. And who gives a shit? And this is, by the way, this is a millionaire and a budding supermodel having problems. Please go find some real problems, people, would you? This isn't one of them. And I have to say that like all the time. So everyone went nuts over that Piggy episode, and I'm going to be consistent. Baldwin is as far left as you can go, and Trump's as far right, and they hate each other with a white-hot passion, and I shall defend Trump just like I defended Baldwin back in the day. I don't care.
And they have some commonality in this, which is nice to see. They like the word piggy, but you got to listen to some of the stuff in this article. Yes, this is not a problem.
Well, also
but the Guardian thinks it is.
There is an old school dude thing where you say stuff that you said 50 years ago and you still say it today, and all the college folks have figured out to make the transition into Latinx and saying words like problematic and quoting all the shit that never existed before. But the old school guys still say darn tootin' and stuff like that. And even the occasional Negro or colored or stuff like, they just say shit they used to say. So you used to be able to call someone a little piggy. There's a Beatles song.
There is. Piggies, right?
Yeah, I think it's called Piggies.
But anyway, Manson used it as part of his.
Yes,
they're talking to me and trying me to start the race.
But anyway, the article.
So anyway, the article
also,
says,
is he talking to a fat chick? Is the question.
A good question.
Because his daughter.
If he is, then it could possibly be implied.
Yes,
worse.
his daughter. Okay, his daughter.
She's not fat.
Catherine Lucy. His daughter was probably 5'10" and 110 pounds at the time. So that's all right. But anyway.
Just listen to the way this is written.
In what publication, by the way?
The Guardian.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump, who has a history of making extremely personal attacks on female journalists, referred to a Bloomberg news correspondent as a piggy during a clash aboard Air Force One on Friday.
Can I say this? Clash. Can I say this? When he talks about Biden, it's the most insulting thing that could ever be leveled toward another guy.
Sure.
He was bad. He was dumb. He didn't know what was going on. He was out of it. He was asleep all the time.
Out of the wall, put a picture of a pen.
Right. Why is that not a hate crime?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's a dude. I would much rather be called a piggy, especially if I was slender, than what he calls half the dudes he's talking about. Especially the former president of the United States and Joe Biden. I mean, he does not miss an opportunity to work in an insult to Biden. And it's somewhere between asleep or asleep at the wheel or dumb or dangerous and cause more damage to this country than any other president, the worst president. No one ever says walk it back or you're being rude. All right, but go ahead.
Well, you heard how the author described Trump at the beginning. Now we're on to the victim. Catherine Lucy, Bloomberg's White House correspondent, had taken advantage of a press opportunity with the president, known as a gaggle, to ask a question about the unfolding Jeffrey Epstein scandal and the possibility of the House voting to release all the files related to the case.
Oh, wait a minute. Gaggle, that means she's a goose.
Oh, careful.
Maybe he was just on the farm in his brain. You know, hey, Gaggle and Piggy and Goose and Mr. Cow over there. And Mr. Giraffe says, sorry.
So as Lucy started to ask Trump why he was behaving the way he was, if there's nothing incriminating in the files, he said, quiet, Piggy. And Jake Tapper said it's disgusting and completely unacceptable.
But let me explain what this is. Sorry. What this is, it's amusing. And I use this example sometimes, but when you talk to the crackpots, the religious crackpots, and the guys who run all these Middle Eastern countries, and you go, listen, if you don't get out of Syria in 2 weeks, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. And they go, you come near us and you'll feel the swift sting of Allah's sword upon your neck. And we go, oh, okay. Anyway, get the fuck out of Syria. We're going to bomb you, okay?
Right.
Like, you have a laugh. This, like, Jake Tapper's appalled, that's comical to Trump and J.D. Vance and anyone, any MAGA person. If you're not pissing him, if Jake Tapper's not pissed off, you're not doing your job.
Right, so he's using Jake Tapper first, and then he says former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson called the remark disgusting and degrading. Now, here's where it gets really good. Our White House journalists perform a vital public service.
That's right.
Asking questions without fear or favor.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
What happened to 4 years of you with a guy who was comatose?
Now
no
all of a sudden you have journalistic integrity, and we're supposed to say, "Oh no, you're right."
I like when they
you
go
didn't
up there.
do your job for 4 years. We've
4
had
years.
enough of your bullshit. Quiet, Piggy.
Well, hold on. I did find out that Joe Biden's favorite ice cream is vanilla. So it's not like they didn't do anything.
Right.
And I did find out he had a birthday coming up.
Right.
So
Now,
they didn't do nothing, Dawson.
As I was going through this, I'll just get through this last little paragraph right here, and it just reminded me of your theory about chick think. I think it's bleeding all through this, especially right here. While name calling may seem harmless, coming from the head of our government, it often sets in motion a torrent of abuse towards the journalist, which not only impacts her ability to work, but also sends a chilling message to other women journalists who are confronting him with hard-hitting questions.
Right. So she could be in her editor's office later that week going, look, I finished a reporting on the border. And he goes, hey, Piggy, get out of here. And then he starts laughing real hard. I know they always do opens the door or whatever. By the way, this whole thing where like Trump is beneath the office of the president. Can you guys get the fuck over that? I think it's well established. He's not that guy. Now, I know what you guys would like. You would like Obama, who acts dignified and then fucks the country up and hustles race the whole time and gives a bunch of money to rogue nations and fucks our country up with his hateful fucking wife. Okay, you would like dignity in a fucked up country. I would like a guy who calls people piggies and a stout border.
Yeah.
That's me.
And the other funny thing is the Democrats who released that coordinated Instagram message yesterday where they were calling on military officials to disobey unlawful orders. Whatever. Anyway, do you imagine my disappointment when after reading this entire Chick Think article, it was written by a dude.
Oh, man. Well, as I say every time, there's plenty of dudes who can think like chicks.
Yep.
So here's an interesting concept for you, Dawson. You know my chick dude leg cross signal theorem?
Yeah.
So, you know, Trudeau and Newsom and Obama and every gay guy, every left-leaning guy who's interviewing Obama. By the way, there's a solidarity leg cross, too.
Sure.
Everybody who interviews Obama has to do a deep leg cross, too, because he has to sort of go, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yes.
So they do the deep leg cross as well. The only guy who doesn't, the most progressive guy who's on the left, who does not do the deep leg cross, which is a feminine thing, which is a sort of gay signaling thing, is Pete Buttigieg. The gay guy doesn't do the deep leg cross.
Yeah, he's a top.
He's a power top.
Yeah.
This is why I needed your opinion on this, Dawson. Now,
It's got to be.
Well, let's
a lot to carry down there.
Let's break it down, right?
Okay.
Gavin Newsom and Justin Trudeau, they like plowing pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Katy Perry will tell you as much, and his campaign manager's ex-wife will tell you as well. So we don't have questions about them. The thing about what they need to do is they don't physically suck cock. They need to let you know they are down with the community. So it's essentially like, I'm going to go into a black church and talk black and pull out some hot sauce. I'm not black, but you'll know who I am when I explain they're going to put you all back in chains, or me ain't now scary no more, or whatever, I'm tired no more, whatever bullshit rich guy, whitey, lefty politician thing they have to do is go talk to the black church. But I'm not black, but I act black. Okay, so the Newsoms,
I'm not going to be tired
no more. Yeah, whatever.
So
Super embarrassing and insulting. And by the way, black people, this is on you for not being insulted. You should be insulted. But anyway, these guys, Obama, Newsom, Trudeau, and the list goes on, signal that we're down with the community, but I don't physically suck cock. But you understand.
You have to give that signal because you don't suck cock.
Yes, I don't. Yeah. I'm down with your cause, LGBT, whatever community.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Buttigieg does suck cock, but he can't get elected sucking cock.
No.
So what he has to do, and if you look at his haircuts and think about his speaking manner, like if you just saw a picture of Buttigieg sitting around and a picture of Trudeau sitting around, you think Trudeau was the gay one. He's got all the bracelets and all the accoutrements and the fancy socks. Buttigieg comes across as a Midwestern businessman,
right?
Because what they're saying to him is, listen, you got to tamp down the cock sucking.
Yes.
Okay. We all know you suck dick. Yeah. Now let's not advertise.
Right.
And the other guys go the opposite way. And that's how you know, because I was watching him talk to the guys who have the deep leg cross, because they don't suck cock, but they're down with the cause. And he's sitting there crossing his legs like I cross my legs. And I think it's ironic that the one gay guy doesn't cross his legs like a gay guy.
It is ironic, but there's a reason for it, and I think you found it. I think you found it.
And with Buttigieg, I don't think you're going to see him like wearing a tank top at the Pride Parade or really talking a lot about, like here's my whole point.
Probably not. He's not going to pull an Adam Schiff and dress up like Raiders of the Lost Ark at Halloween. And
Kamala Harris is going to talk about being black all the time, even though she's half black.
Right.
She's going to talk about that all the time. Right. And she's going to talk about the gay community and the LGBT and the trans community. He's going to do much less of that talk, even though he's in that community, because he's trying to say to America, forget I'm gay, just vote for this guy. So there you go. Well, and the leg cross comes into effect.
Well, you know what Michelle Obama's going to do? She's going to tell us how we're not grown up enough. We're not ready. But the good news is she won't be running for president. Listen to this.
Okay.
So thank you all for being there for us. You stepped into a role that carried a preconceived idea of femininity and wifedom that was founded on the landmines of racism and misogyny.
Whoa.
What the First Lady wears is one of the main ways, which you've already said, that a First Lady has talked about. It comes with so much historical expectation. How do you feel about the fact that the First Lady is an archetype for wifedom and femininity?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. It's
I think the part is coming up later.
It is a completely throwback.
I'll get to it. It's coming.
It's a definition that has no current status in how women actually show up in the world today.
Do you think that impacts the room that we've made for a woman to be president?
Well, as we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready.
We ain't
That's
ready.
why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time.
Incompetence, or what's she mean?
She means that we are misogynistic and we will not elect a woman. Although I really think she saw some polling data and that there was no chance in hell she could ever possibly win.
If you said I'll put it to you this way. By the way, they do this bullshit all the time where it's like, women of color. You guys hate Candace Owens, and any woman of color disagrees with you more than anybody. So
was the
don't give me the woman of color
deputy governor or attorney general of Virginia.
Yeah, Sears, right. Winsome. Yeah, you hate her. So don't give me the support women of color bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I do not think that there is a guy I know in the Republican Party that would not vote for Margaret Thatcher over Tim Walz. If I just said, look, there's two people, they're going to run your country. One of them's Margaret Thatcher, the other's Tim Walz. They'd go, give me Margaret Thatcher. They have no fucking thoughts about her being a woman. We have thoughts about bad governance and bad ideas.
Right.
And a lot of the bad ideas come from the feminine side of the aisle.
A merit-based philosophy, whereas we just want the right person for the job.
She likes to do the whole misogynist, racist thing. That's by the way, that's all she does is go around making millions of dollars calling everyone misogynist and racist. But I do want to say this. Tracy Ellis Ross.
Who's that?
That's the woman. Thank you. By the way, I like when people do that. Yeah, I like when you say something. I miss that where you go, wait a minute, what time is it? Thank you. Thank you. See, I said we needed a clock, but you wouldn't listen.
Right.
But Dawson doesn't know what time it is. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for not knowing who the fuck that bitch is. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing.
I saw her earrings, though.
She is she's the ambassador to all blacks.
Okay.
So when Michelle Obama needs to be interviewed, Tracy Ellis Ross needs to interview her, right? Because she's
like an Oprah on a lower level.
She's the black whisperer. You have to have her on all this stuff. Her mom is Diana Ross.
Oh, how nice.
Okay. And her dad is Robert Silberstein, an old Jew. Mm-hmm. The point is, so first off, the reason she doesn't look black is because she has a Jewish dad, a millionaire Jewish dad, and then her mom's a millionaire as well. And then she pops up everywhere as sort of the go-to black person. Here's who we're going to when we're talking to black people. So someone's got to interview Michelle Obama. Who's it going to be? It's going to be the black chick who doesn't look black because her dad is an old Jew who's a Nepo baby, who's super rich, that no one even fucking knows what she does. But she was on the show Blackish. Now, we don't need her, and all she's going to be is friendly for the black person she's talking to. So I'm watching her do her softball with Michelle Obama. And then I realize she pops up in the Eddie Murphy doc. Now, the Eddie Murphy doc is filled with comedians, And it's got the Dave Chappelles of the world and guys like that, and people that have worked with Eddie Murphy. She pops up in it. That's what I'm saying. I have no association. She made a movie with him 3 years ago called Candy Cane Lane that no one saw, no one heard of. And in the pantheon of Eddie Murphy movies, if he's done 80 movies, this one's 77th in terms of movies you'd like to see with Eddie Murphy in them. And they did the Arsenio Halls and the Coming to America and Working with Eddie or whatever, but because she's just the black ambassador and needs to be shoved into everything because she's a woman of color, they just shove her into everything. And now she's got, what year was Candy Cane Lane? You can look up. She was in one movie that's unknown with Eddie Murphy, and no one knows what the fuck she's doing on this thing, 2023. I didn't even know this movie came out, but the point is her mom is Diana Ross, and she needs to be here the same way you didn't know who she was with this. But so I was doing a 10 to 20 minute soliloquy about Tracy Ellis Ross. And by the way, it's fine. You're allowed to make a living. I wish my mom was Diana Ross. I got one of the other Supremes as a mom.
Charge for the money.
My mom couldn't afford a burrito Supreme. Forget about being in the Supremes. But fine, work and do all this stuff. It's just funny that you become this ambassador to this thing. And I don't know, but everyone loves her. No one else. By the way, it's a hate crime if you say anything bad about her. But she popped up in the Eddie Murphy thing, which, again, I would argue she doesn't need to be in a doc about Eddie Murphy since she's worked with him once a year and a half ago. And he was basically done with his career by then. But all right, fine. But as my buddy Kevin Hench brought up when I was going on my diatribe about why we don't need Tracy Ellis Ross in an Eddie Murphy doc, he mentioned something that I caught, but that I forgot, which is, and I'll just play it for you, because when you do a doc, I do docs, people sit down and they talk, and on occasion, when they're recounting things, there's a lot of like, well, let's see, I met Jimmy when I started at K-Rock in 95? Was it 90? 94. Oh, yeah, sorry. 94, I met Jimmy when I met, there's a lot of that. And then you clean it up in post, because otherwise you have a lot of people talking to people off camera. Bob, when did I start at K-Rock? What? Oh, 94. Okay, there's a lot of that.
Sure.
All right, so she pops up like 3 or 4 times to comment on Eddie Murphy, who she made a movie with.
He just has a sieve of a brain. Like, is that the right word? Sieve? Like, it just takes everything in? Sponge. He's like a sponge brain. That's the way I would describe Eddie. He's a sponge brain.
Right. Why not just edit around the part where she said he had a sieve for a brain? And by the way, do we need her commentary?
What does that add?
It doesn't add anything. The point is that we're making an Eddie Murphy doc.
And she's talking about Eddie
a black
Murphy
ambassador.
Way after he was Eddie Murphy, if she worked with him in 2023. Yeah, of course he is. Because he has years of experience to build on. He's not really a sponge. He's just a lot smarter and more experienced than you are.
He has a sieve for a brain. So it was kind of remind me one time when I was doing Vibe or whatever, and I think Sinbad was interviewing me, and he goes, "Man, you and Dr. Drew are so different. You're like that cartoon, Heckle and Jekyll." And I go, I'm picturing the two identical magpies, right? And I go,
yeah, that's not what you mean.
Yeah, maybe you wanted Fred and Barney or something, or any other duo.
He's thinking of
Yogi
Jekyll
and Booba.
Hyde.
He meant Jekyll and Hyde, but he said Heckle.
Said cartoon.
He said, well, to be fair, he was thinking Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes,
and he said, you're like Heckle and Jekyll. I don't know if he said cartoon. Okay. He said Heckle and Jekyll, and I pictured the two identical magpies. And I just sat there because I was on TV, and I was like, I don't know. Do we circle back and I explain?
It's necessary, but yeah, it kind of is. Like, hey, Sinbad, no.
And it was like, well, one had a Cockney accent, the other just had a British accent. Like, I don't know, but they're the same. Yeah,
that would have confused him.
Then I was like, his Dumbo audience doesn't fucking know what the fuck he's talking about. Anyway, all right, do you have one more?
Sure, I do. Joy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
She's now changed her outrage. She's now joining the outrage at trans people in locker rooms. She said, if I saw a penis, I would freak out too. We might have some video here. Yeah, let's see.
I would be disturbed. I'm telling you, I would be alarmed. I'm alarmed enough when I see a woman with her dangling boobies.
Yeah.
If I saw a penis in the ladies' locker room, I would freak out too. This is just. I mean, this is nothing against trans anybody. What it's saying is, if I turn around and I see a penis in front of me inside of the room. Yeah. I would probably go to management and say, wait a minute, why is there a naked man in this room?
That's
because
transphobia.
just the world we live in, just from a safety standpoint.
Can I say this? With all the fucking women identifying as men, how come there's zero naked chicks walking around any locker room I've ever been in identifying as men? And there's zero chicks that are trying out for the men's basketball team.
Because
and
none of
volleyball
this
team.
is real.
I know. It would make sense that there'd be at least some incidents of me sitting in a Y walking around looking at a C cup or something.
Right.
I've never heard about that direction. I only hear about it the other direction, and I never hear about the woman or the biological woman trying to make the Pepperdine male volleyball team.
Yeah.
I don't hear about any of that. So why wouldn't it be a two-way street is what I'm saying. And I do like
put on the man's track and field team.
That's right. I do like Stephen A. and gay Pete Buttigieg and all that kind of stuff. I will say this about black people. They are black before they're Democrats. Like, black is the number one thing they are. And Joy, as crazy as she is and as left-wing as she is, she's still a black woman. And white women don't want to see a dingling either, but
I don't want to see dangling breasts either. That's scared. Dangling boobies.
I don't know why she would start with that statement, because if you're in a female locker
she's trying
room,
to say it's equally offensive in each way. She's trying to show that this is not a transphobic station. Hey, dangling boobies do the same thing to me.
I would say
no, they don't. Not in a women's locker room.
I would say we're going to have a very difficult time avoiding women's boobies in a ladies' locker room. I would assume.
Right.
But she, again, black folk, they're not down with nuttiness. White women don't want to see the dingling either, but they pretend they don't care or it's not an issue because they're aware of their party. The black folk will go, look, I'm not down with the LGBT and all the trans and all that shit. I may be left, I may love Obama, I love Michelle Obama, I love it all, but I'll draw the line at cock. And that's how they go.
Well, I would accept this with more praise if not 4 years ago she wasn't saying that everything she just said was a Republican talking point.
That's right.
So
they're also not smart in that they're wildly inconsistent.
And then I found out the name of her podcast and lost all respect for her. It's called Read This, Read That.
Oh, the name.
Come on.
Yeah.
With a name like that, you lose points if you can't come up with something very, very clever.
All right. Well, tonight, Fort Worth, Texas, Hyenas Comedy Club doing a couple of shows there. And then tomorrow, Woodlands, Texas.
My brother will see you there.
Woodlands?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him to come up and find me. Woodlands, Texas, Do-Si-Do, the Big Barn, a couple of shows there. And then Saturday, Walnut Springs, Texas, Rattlesnake Roadhouse. And then Corona, December 6th, me and Jay Moore at the Das Logos amphitheaters. Well, go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Doss, you got anything coming up?
December 4th through 7th, I'm doing some shows with Rudy Povich at Delirious in the Silver Seven Casino in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. And until next time, it's Adam for Dawson and Scott Galloway saying Mahalo. All right, so you got some news.
Let's do it, huh? So this has been making the rounds. Customer orders Charlie Kirk's Starbucks drink and finds disturbing hate message. Employee gets fired. This is an Ohio woman ordered Charlie Kirk's to go to Starbucks drink, which, by the way, what do you think that is, Ace?
There's a Charlie Kirk drink?
Yeah. So it's not like it's named after him at Starbucks. It was what he would order when he went to Starbucks.
Oh, I didn't.
And people have been ordering it ever since September 10th. Yeah.
I see. Because it would seem very off-brand to have them dedicate a drink to them, but people are ordering that. I'm looking at a thing that says mint something on it. Honey and whatever. So he does a tea, I'm guessing.
They popped the balloon there. Yeah, minty majesty tea with 2 honeys.
2 honeys.
2 honeys.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that, but I wouldn't know. And by the way, the people in their beverages are all over the road. It's hard to connect them. You know, I can do a lot of racial profiling and do lots of profiling and know where people are going with stuff. Drinks, I never know. I never know who's the latte, who's the almond latte. I mean, pain in the ass chick is always the bigger pain in the ass you are in life, the longer your Starbucks drink is. That much I know, but I would have never guessed Charlie Kirk. I would have thought, I think Republican guy, conservative guy, just think black coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I always see the guys that are outside of the Starbucks, like the road construction guys, and it's all the dudes in the reflective vests, and then there's the one guy who's like maybe from the city or maybe from corporate, who's like the project manager, and the guy goes in and orders 6 black coffees, and then he needs a minty fruit latte with whipped cream on top and sprinkles, and you're like, I know exactly who that drink is going for.
I was behind someone who ordered light foam. And I was like, you like foam or don't you like foam, bitch? In or out with your fucking foam. So she wrote something, this is for the racist or whatever.
Yeah, so on the side of the drink, it was handwritten, racist fave drink on the side of the cup. This woman complained to corporate. She went and talked to Kroger's, who ran that certain Starbucks. The employee had admitted to writing on the side of the cup and was immediately fired on spot.
Good. And the thing about racist is, let's stop throwing it around so sort of willy-nilly. It's a big thing. It's also a reason to put someone in the ground. So I don't know what their thing is on the left, but everyone look, I have thoughts about what ails the black community, but that doesn't make me racist. I have thoughts about what ails many communities and many white people as well. That doesn't make me anything other than I have thoughts. And we've constructed some sort of system where they're like, well, yeah, but you're not black, but you're not. Okay, I don't play for the Rams, but I have thoughts about what they could have done the other weekend to win a football game. That's what I do. I have thoughts about everything.
Sure.
That's just me. I don't like it's just contained to my kids. I have thoughts about other people's kids as well. So shut the fuck up. What do you mean no thoughts? I have thoughts about how to run everything all the time.
Yeah.
And yes.
Also, me and the boys were in the back talking. Female Republicans have come a long way over the last few years, have they not? Like, look at this lady on the right. That is the new face of the Republican Party, where back in the day you had Barbara Bush.
Oh, I thought this was a chick who wrote on the cup.
No, she's the one who
got the cup.
Yeah, well, I had to make sure that we were correct in that too. So this is the woman who got the cup.
Yeah.
And then, because you would assume that this is the woman who wrote on the side.
She's got the tats and the head shave and the weird, I don't know, Pomeranian hairdo. I don't know what we call that, but she's the victim of it.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what the attraction is to calling people racist. Like, I just don't presume to know what's in their heart. I don't really care. It seems like a weird calorie burner to go after people. Like I don't know. That guy, remember 10 minutes ago, we had to pop the tires of anyone driving a Tesla? Remember that from 10 minutes ago? Back when America wasn't ready for a gay vice president. Remember, we had to go to, this seems like a big calorie burner. Did anyone go, it's an electric car. It's good. It's good for the earth. We used to like Elon. I don't have to retroactively go pop his tires. It's all like it's like 9-year-old behavior. It's weird.
Remember when it was quaint when Starbucks just decided to put a war on Christmas with Happy Holidays. That was quaint, and now they're calling everybody racist. It feels like
I know. I miss the holidays.
Miss those days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump slammed statue showing him holding hands with Jeffrey Epstein. This thing is glorious. I was in Washington, D.C. yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to swing by and see it, but the new statues erected on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., they show Trump and Epstein giddily frolicking together, holding hands with a plaque that reads, "We celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein." Trump did not hold back in a statement that was made from the White House to TMZ. Liberals are free to waste their money however they see fit. But it's not news that Epstein knew Donald Trump because Donald Trump kicked Epstein out of his club for being a creep.
You know what we should do? You know what Trump should do? Here's Trump. If Trump were smart, here's what he'd do. He'd go, I just commissioned a bronze statue of Magellan holding hands with Marco Polo.
Marco Polo, yes.
Two of the greatest explorers, two of the greatest mariners ever. And 10 seconds later, a bunch of fucking Antifa people would show up and just fucking tear it down.
Yeah.
He should just. We won't know who it is from here. I don't know what Epstein's statue looks like. You know what I mean? Just say I did. Maybe we should do. I don't know. Let's see. Let's pick who don't we like? Who doesn't the left like? I mean, I guess we could like St. Peter frolicking with Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, I was going to say anybody who is named after a lake is named after them currently. That's usually probably who the left hates.
All right, well, just pick those two, put out there, and Tifa shows up, tears it down that night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like the detail in that statue, though. They should have got that guy to do the Dwayne Wade statue outside of the, because that is brutal looking, but that's pretty good.
I was trying to think, they didn't cast it out of bronze.
No.
Because each one would weigh 2 tons.
Yeah.
But did they use like a CNC type programming, whatever? Like, can you make this old stuff on a computer now and then rattle can it bronze, you know, to spray paint it?
3D printing. They probably made this thing and then put it up. Yeah, that seems legit. I like that he came out right away and was like, mad about holding hands with a dude. That's why I love Trump. He's like, I totally fuck Stormy Daniels and I don't hold hands with dudes. Okay, that's what I love about it.
3D printed, yeah, probably. There's also there's a bad soccer statue. Who's the bad soccer statue of? Ronaldo.
Ronaldo? Okay.
There's a bad soccer Ronaldo statue. And by the way, I don't know. Do you think they did that shit to like George Washington? Like, do we really know what George Washington looked like?
Yeah, I remember having a picture in my Hibbing High School library and going, how do we all know exactly like that was the dude? Because they never showed him smiling because they said he had wooden teeth.
Right.
I'm like, at some point, wouldn't those things rot out? Wouldn't you get an infection? Wouldn't you die from some sort of like medical condition by having wooden teeth? I feel like.
Also, he lived in a time where we had ivory and stuff. And there were great smiths, you know, that could carve out of alabaster and stuff. I don't know why you'd do a one out of.
Oh, Lordy, look at that. That's amazing. We could do that.
Ronaldo looks like he's got Down syndrome. like if you take a Down syndrome guy and you give him a hot dog and you tell him there's cheese inside of it, that's the look.
Yeah.
He makes.
Wouldn't somebody, whoever was supposed to put this thing out, look at the guy who sculpted this and say, we got to melt it down and start again. We can't put this out to the public.
I feel like with statues, let me explain what a statue or a carving or bronzing or a head, a bust. Here's the process. Nobody says, I would like you to build me a custom home. How long will it take? And then you go, well, it's going to take about 17 months. And I go, I'll be back in 17 months in 1 day. You hit the job site like twice a month or every Friday, and you walk around, and invariably the person who's paying for it goes, ooh, where are you going to put the tub?
Mm-hmm.
No tub in the master suite. But the tub goes in the guest suite or whatever. Tons of stuff. Everything from I don't want this outlet here to here's what I want my island to look like, But you can't just leave and come back when it's done, because you're going to open the front door and you're going to see a bunch of shit you didn't really like.
Yeah.
That they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with statues, whoever the statue is of, they got to show up once a week and sort of check progress.
Yeah.
Or why don't we just get the Madame Tussauds wax house, whoever's doing the wax stuff. The wax ones are dead nuts on every single time. You literally you see Kim Kardashian posing next to her wax museum pose, and you can't tell which one is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I was going to say they should start out, because I come from the land of butter sculptures. Start with the butter sculpture.
Start with butter.
And then you take the plaster of Paris, you get the form, and then you form from there. That way you know it's correct.
Or you end up with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
All right.
Man,
what else
brutal.
you got?
Rhode Island high school coach who did naked fat test sentenced to 1 year of probation. This happened on Monday. A judge sentenced a former high school basketball coach to a year of probation after he spent decades asking hundreds of male student athletes if they were shy or not before asking them to get naked so he could check their body fat. Turns out that he was actually found not guilty on second-degree child molestation and second-degree sexual assault in a case that scrutinized the so-called naked fat test, but then was later given 2 counts of a lesser degree, 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. So throughout the nearly 6-week trial, defense attorneys for Thomas argued that the tests were wrong, but not a crime.
Well, once you get into your underpants, how much more do we need to see if you're fat or not?
Yeah, we kind of know. I mean, there's everybody's wearing the V-neck T-shirts again, and they are not quite as form-fitting as they used to be. So a lot of dudes with tits out there walking around these days.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell through a dress shirt and the V-form. You're right, the V-form. And there's dudes with titty syndrome, and then there's women with huge upper arm syndrome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could you pick a shirt that's a little more flattering for you? Because I can see your man titties from across the mall, and I see that fucking Nate Newton upper arm from across the mall, and it's like there's such a thing as long sleeves or hoodies or things that don't accentuate this thing so much.
Wear dark, wear layers.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
The vertical stripes.
Yeah. My high school, up until about maybe 3 years before I got there, they made the boys swim naked in class, gym class, naked.
Really?
Yeah. And we looked it up. There's a whole thing about it that was online. Hibbing High School, if you Google it, obviously be a little cautious about what you Google. But yeah, they would they made you swim naked. The boys had to swim naked up until, I think 11th grade. Girls got to wear a suit. And then I think it was a few years before I got there, like the late 80s, early 90s is when they finally got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dudes naked, but just with dudes.
Just with dudes, yeah. Yep. So they would actually, folklore says that there was a bunch of dudes in swim class that were doing the class, and somebody did not lock the door, and there was a woman who opened it up, and there was just a bunch of dudes standing on the edge of the pool naked. So after that is when they started chaining and barring the door so nobody could walk in. And there used to be these big giant curtains that if they weren't pulled back, you could see right into the lunchroom. So if there was a little sliver of daylight, you could stick your eyes up to the glass and basically see these kids naked.
I don't know if we talked about this, but there's something going on, because I have found myself as an old dude walking through the locker room at the spa, dropping the towel, getting naked, getting in, and every guy's wearing trunks now. Like, guys, first off, there was no such thing back in the day of being in the men's side of the spa in the locker room wearing trunks in a jacuzzi, and there was no trunks in the sauna, no trunks in the steam room. There was you might have the towel wrapped around you. You drop the towel and slide into the whatever.
Yeah.
But guys are modest now. That's a whole new vibe. And I don't know. Is it weird? Is there something weird going on with dudes? Are the peckers getting smaller now with the testosterone levels going down and the sperm production going down and guys getting chubbier?
Yeah.
When guys get chubby, there's more circulating estrogen because it makes your dick smaller,
Absolutely.
essentially. So is it guys being self-conscious and like having a small pecker and being kind of chubby now? What is, or is it a social thing?
Maybe. There was also the stories that came out of, that gal who was like a social influencer, and she took pictures of that naked elderly woman in the women's locker room, and I think the caption said something, "If I have to look at it, so do you," and then posted them online. I think
right.
Yeah. So maybe there's a little bit of sort of you're a little afraid that maybe there's some sort of camera, something lurking. You're not really sure. But speaking of that, I was watching the new Superman.
Good thought.
I was watching the new Superman on the flight yesterday, and Lex Luthor, the dude who plays Lex Luthor, probably the same age as Gene Hackman when they both filmed their Supermans. Gene Hackman's voice substantially deeper than the dude who plays Lex Luthor now.
Interesting.
And everybody else, and I was like, wow, even my voice is so much higher than some of the other guys that are, probably 10 years older than me.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, could be a lot of microplastics.
Absolutely.
But you're right, could be who wants to be filmed naked.
Yeah.
I got a good gym dick, so I don't care. As I was talking to Jillian about.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman is 48 while filming Superman.
Oh, the first one. Okay. And how old's the dude so he must be in his 40s now. I can't remember the guy's name.
How was Superman? I didn't see it.
He's younger than that. Well, but still, Gene Hackman's voice couldn't have gotten that much deeper between the ages of 29 and 48. I imagine. It's good. It's, it's so CGI'd, but the story's good and it's fun and it's got some great jokes in it, and it's James Gunn, so you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, I like James.
But, yeah, it's great.
All right, one more.
One last one here. All right, so video of this. Tom Brady makes some comments. He's receiving a lot of criticism for a statement he made on the air during the Cowboys-Bears game after Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens repeatedly slammed his helmet into the ground.
Arms, and Pick's not happy. Yeah, those helmets can be. It's like the dog at home.
Timeout on the field.
Wow. Kick
Right
the dog, throw the helmet.
Man, oh
whatever
man.
it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So kick the dog.
I always think about this stuff when people go, "Oh, people are upset." I go, "No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're just fucking talking.
Yeah,
no one gives a shit."
Yeah,
it's weird. It's a weird thing because I do see the TMZ chicks goes, "He shouldn't be able to." And it's, "Oh, shut up, bitch. Just shut up. There's real problems." Tom Brady doesn't kick his dog. He said, "Kick the dog." He doesn't kick his dog.
It's a phrase. It's what people would say, And until he shows up to game day wearing a coat made of 101 Dalmatians like Cruella de Vil, I'm going to go ahead and just give us a pass and just say he was just saying, making a phrase that is a very common phrase when you're frustrated.
He should lean into it. He should go, "That quarterback's more mobile than Mike Vick. I have not seen a guy who had a cannon." Michael Vick, cannon for an arm, more mobile than anybody else in the league at the time. Mike Vick, people talk about him as a mobile quarterback. Great man.
Yeah.
He's a great man. Humanitarian. NFL Player of the Year, Man of the Year. Got the Walter Payton Man of the Year in 91. A lot of people don't remember that. As a matter of fact, geez, what time is it? Because I got to get going. I'm going to meet Mike Vick. We're going out for cocktails, and then it's off to his backyard where he said he just wanted to give me a tour of the kennel.
Oh, he just sent me a text. "What up, dog? I can meet you at 5 p.m. I got to get blowing, guys. I'm sorry about that."
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You read the stories about people that were upset about it. They said one lady was like, "Oh, kick the dog, Tom. Don't you have a pooch?" Someone else wrote, "You have some explaining and apologizing to do."
I do love the people with the amount of time that they have. Look, I got my life. Everybody, that's all I got. I got 2 hampers. One is a hamper filled with fucking troublemakers who don't pay taxes, who cause crime, who spit their gum out on hot sidewalks, who just all the stuff we don't, who let their dog shits on your lawn and they don't pick it up. And then there's another hamper, and those are the taxpayers and the job creators. Tom Brady is in the happy hamper. You understand?
Yeah.
He's in the good hamper. I give people, what has Tom Brady paid in taxes his life?
I couldn't even imagine. I mean, well into the millions. Probably more than what I make a year, I imagine.
He has, I'm going to say that Tom Brady has paid well over $100 million in taxes quite easily in his youngish time on this planet so far. So he's not part of the problem. There are other people who've been arrested 61 times who get in the court appointed, whatever. They're in the other hamper. And once you're in this hamper, I don't really have time for you. I don't bust your chops. He's a fucking taxpayer who loves his kids. I'm done with him. Charity work, what have you. Never have enough energy to go, I got to settle this guy's hash.
Yeah.
Do not.
Family members sometimes. I always think about it. Like we had a conversation the other day where I said that my family was talking about there's going to be a civil war.
200 million is the conservative estimate.
Wow.
On
No way. Man, that is worth it. How much he's paid.
How much he's paid?
Get out.
Oh, well, if you're really, you pay a lot in this country. So if you made a lot of money, you're going to pay a lot of taxes.
Man. I'm so glad I'm broke. I will never pay anywhere near any of that. But I'm also not the guy who complains about these guys. I sort of empathize with them and go, if it wasn't for guys in like you and people in your position, I would have no career whatsoever.
That's right.
Yeah.
What were you saying about a family member?
Oh, so we were talking that my family said, well, they're going to cause a civil war. The civil war is coming. And I said, have you guys not been online? We're not fighting on a battlefield. We're fighting on social media. That is our civil war. We put down guns and we're picking up keyboards, and that's where the civil war is happening.
Fighting on Starbucks coffee cups.
Yeah.
That's the battlefield. We're using Sharpies like bayonets. Retarded people. All right, you can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Heather and Jillian got themselves a podcast. What do you want? And it's coming out on Friday. Rudy, what dates we got for you this weekend? Reno, Laugh Factory. That's a cool place.
Yeah, going to Reno this weekend. And then please, October 3rd, I'm going to be back in northern Minnesota. I'm going to be at Jenkins, Minnesota, Snarky Loon Brewing. It's a veteran-owned brewery. These guys are great. I can't wait to come back to Minnesota. So please check it out. Go to rudypavichcomedy.com. Get some tickets. Would love to see you guys there.
And Rudy is funny, as I've mentioned before. So, till next time, it's Adam for Rudy and Jillian and Heather saying mahalo.